Well, hey guys, welcome back to my channel, and today I'm going to be doing my labor and delivery story. If you can hear music in the background, it's my stepdad's music, so yeah, and excuse how I look a mess. But everyone's been asking me to do a labor and delivery story, so I just thought, why not do one? But yeah, so basically I gave birth on April 10th, which was actually her due date. She's sleeping right now, but I gave birth on April 10th, but my contractions started April 9th, if that makes sense. So what happened was, because my due date is also my cousin's birthday, we went bowling and out to eat that night. I didn't even think she was gonna come like within that week because she was taking forever, so I just assumed that she would come way after her due date. So what happened was, that night, April 9th, that night we went bowling, and while we were bowling I was starting to get cramps, but I didn't think much of it because I always get cramps, and it was just cramps. I mean, I could still like play bowling and do everything through them, so I just pushed it to the side, I guess you can say. But yeah, that's when my contraction started, is when I was bowling. Then after that we went to Buffalo Wild Wings, and I was eating, like we went to Buffalo Wild Wings and ate, and at Buffalo Wild Wings they started getting stronger. I'm sorry, my cousin's in the room too, but at Buffalo Wild Wings they started getting stronger and a little bit closer, but like I said, I could still function through it, so I didn't really care, I guess you can say. So that night ended, and I went home, but my contractions were still staying, and they were like every 5 minutes. They would range from 3 to 5 minutes, nothing over 10 minutes, but they weren't that painful, so I just let it go. I told my mom, and she told me to let her know if anything, and if I need to go to the hospital to wake her up. So I wasn't keeping track of them until like 10:57 at night. That's when I started keeping track of them, and ever since after 10:57, it was when they were every 3 to 5 minutes, every 3 to 5 minutes, every 3 to 5 minutes. So yeah, but I still refused to go to the hospital because every time I went to the hospital they would send me home. So I was like, I'm not going just to get sent home. Fuck it, until like it's unbearable, then I'm not going. So basically I sat through the contractions up until 3 in the morning, 2:50ish, 3 in the morning, and and right after that, at around 3 in the morning, was when they started becoming unbearable. So I called my mom. I called Juan. Juan was sleeping, so I had to like FaceTime him like 3 million times for him to wake up. And as soon as I told him that we were going to the hospital, he like jumped up and came over to my house. And then my mom took us to the hospital, and at the hospital they checked me. They told me that I was 3 centimeters dilated, and that I would have to walk for an hour, and if I progressed then I would stay, but if I didn't then they would send me home, which was bullshit because I was in fucking pain. Okay, I was in pain. So we started walking, and as me and Juan are walking, I'm like, the contractions were beating my ass. I could not function with them, I guess you can say. So I just had a brain fart. I'm sorry. I couldn't deal with the contractions, so I stopped walking with him. Like, we were like 5 minutes into walking and the contractions were too painful, so I stopped walking. I was just like, fuck no, if they're gonna send me home, they might as well just send me home. I'm not walking, this shit hurts. So after that she was like, are you sure? Because if you don't progress then we're gonna have to send you home. I was like, well, y'all just gonna have to send me home. But I said they're just gonna have to send me home, but okay, I was eating. But I said they were just gonna have to send me home, but in my head I was thinking, I'm not leaving until I have this baby, so I don't care. So then they sent us back to, I went back to the little bed thingy. They put me back on the monitor, tracked my contractions. Mind you, if you've ever tracked contractions, I guess you can say, like, they track I don't know how to explain it. Like, it's like squiggly lines, and like they were high, meaning that they were fucking painful. So my contractions were consistent and everything, but they weren't consistent enough for me to stay. Had they not had, you know what, I don't know how to explain it. I'm really bad at explaining things, I'm sorry. Like, my contractions were consistent, but if I didn't it gets to 4 centimeters dilated, then they would send me home. Oh, bless you. So then I just laid in the bed for an hour, waited for the hour to pass, and after, and when they checked me, I was praying. I was like, please God, let me be 4 centimeters so that I can stay. And they checked me, and then they said I was 4 centimeters dilated and that I'm in active labor. And when they told me that, like, I was so excited, but I was so scared at the same time. This was at like 4 or 5 in the morning, and like the first thing I said when they told me that I was in active labor, I was like, okay, so how soon can I get the epidural? They were like, just let us check your vitals and shit like that, and check your blood, something about platelet levels. I don't know, I wasn't paying attention, I was in pain, but they said let's check all that, then we can get you the thingy, then we could get you the epidural. So after that, they switched us into the room. I was laying in that bed for like an hour and a half after that, and they got my blood and all that. My contractions just kept getting stronger, and I was in so much fucking pain. So when they finally allowed me to get the epidural, it's like 7 o'clock. But it was a whole plot twist. I actually have scoliosis. I didn't know that I had scoliosis, and they couldn't get the epidural in my back. So they had to like poke me with the needle. Imagine getting poked in the back with a 4-inch needle, and they're like going in between my bones, I think. Well, that's what it felt like, and they couldn't get it in. So I kid you not, I got poked at least 12 times with the needle. Sorry, she's like started crying, so I had to pick her up. And like I said before, excuse the music in the background, it's my stepdad because he's listening to music. But like I said, they had to poke me in the back like at least 12 times, I kid you not, with this needle to get it in. And by the time they started putting my epidural in at 7 o'clock, and they finally got it in at around like 7:40. So so when they finally got it in, the contractions started to slow down. Ooh, bless you. The contractions started to slow down. Bless you again. The contractions started to slow down, and after they started slowing down, they went away completely, and I was on cloud 9. So that was pretty much it. I was on cloud 9. A couple hours passed at like 10ish. Oh, after they put the epidural in me, they came back an hour later, so like at 8 o'clock, like at 8:40ish, they came back and they checked me, and I was 6 centimeters dilated. And after they checked me, I just fell straight asleep. Like after I got the epidural, I was gone. So yeah, I just slept throughout the whole thing. Really, the rest of my labor, I guess, I pretty much slept throughout the whole thing. And they came back, checked me, and I was 8 centimeters dilated. They broke my water for me because my water didn't break. I don't know if I added that in the beginning, but my water never broke, so they broke it for me. And after they broke it for me, they checked me like 30 minutes later, and I was 9 centimeters dilated. So after that, we wait another hour or so. Well, they told me to wait another hour or so, and that when the pressure begins to get unbearable, like, cause I didn't really feel anything, but all I could feel was pressure, like I had to poop. So they said when you hit the feeling to poop like really, really badly, then to call them and they'll check me. So I did, and when they did that and they checked me, I was still 9 centimeters dilated, and I was so pissed off because the pressure was getting really bad. Okay, so then after that, about 5-10 minutes later, I'm like complaining. I'm like, no, check me. I'm pretty sure I'm 10 centimeters dilated. I just want to give birth already. So after they checked me that final time, and I was 10 centimeters dilated, and they told me that I was ready to push. So that's when like the real stuff started happening, and I was scared shitless. So it was Juan on this side, my mom on that side, my sister and my cousins were in the room as well, and then a whole bunch of nurses came in. And so they told me to start pushing, and as I'm pushing, like it didn't hurt, but I just felt a lot of pressure. And every time I would push, they'd be like, oh my god, the head's right there. And they were fucking lying. They'd be like, the head's right there. This, that, and the third. Oh, keep pushing, keep pushing. I felt like I couldn't push it whatsoever. It wasn't that painful. It was just weird. Like, there was a lot of pressure and it was burning. And I just felt like I couldn't push at all. So like I'm crying and I'm like, I can't push. I want a C-section. I want a C-section. And my mom and Juan, they're both holding my legs for me. Like they're holding my legs for me, and they're like trying to tell me to keep pushing, to keep pushing, to keep pushing. But I felt like I couldn't. So then I guess my mom got sick of my shit, and she like cursed me out and gave me a pep talk, and she was like, you have to get this baby out, this, that, and the third. So I started pushing. So I started pushing again, and after I started pushing, I would just keep, I slowed down and I started concentrating, and I just kept pushing. I tried to hold my breath for as long as I could, and as I'm doing this final push, I see this bloody thing come out of me. And yeah, I finally pushed the baby out. After about an hour of pushing, I finally pushed her out. And after I got her out, like, I was just looking at her in shock. Like, my eyes were wide open, and I was at a loss for words. I looked over at Juan. Juan had his hands on his head. Like, he looked like he was about to pass out, and he sat down and he started crying. He cut the umbilical cord, and then they put her on my chest, and we did skin to skin for an hour. And she was born on April 10th, 2017 at 3:13 p.m., which was her due date. And yeah, that was my labor and delivery story. After I gave birth, everything was fine, really. Yeah, nothing. After I gave birth, they took out my placenta, they stitched me up. I got 4 stitches. Well, I got 4 stitches. Yeah, and that's pretty much it. Oh yeah, and I passed out. Quick little story time. After I gave birth, like an hour or two after, like 3 or 4 hours, 2 to 4 hours after I gave birth, I feel like I needed to. They told me that I had to go pee. So I was like, okay, let me just go to the bathroom. I'll walk to the bathroom or whatever so I can go pee. So I tried to get up, and I thought I was the shit, I guess. And I tried to walk to the bathroom, and as I'm walking to the bathroom, this nurse is helping me, and I turn around and I look at her, and I'm just like, I feel like I'm about to pass out. And right when I said that, I passed out, but I didn't know I passed out. 1 minute I was saying that, the next minute I woke up at like the foot of my bed with people lifting me up, and they were like, oh, you just passed out. So yeah, that's pretty much it. I hope you guys don't mind guava juice in the background. That's my little cousin who's watching TV. So yeah, that was pretty much my labor and delivery in a nutshell. It wasn't that bad. If you guys have any questions about it, then I'll do another video on that. You guys can just send me questions and I'll answer them in a Q&A. I know a lot of you have been sending me questions, and I'm probably going to include some pictures from my pregnancy and from her actual birth. And yeah, that was today's video. Pretty shitty, but oh well. And now they're starting to clean, so I guess I ended this like perfectly. But thank you so much for watching this video. Please like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you guys in my next video. I wanna la 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 la. I wanna la 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 la. I wanna la 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 la. I wanna la 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 la. Damn, I feel alive, baby. Damn, I feel alive. It's like something has to die to help you realize. Oh, damn, I feel alive. We were in a weird place. Crazy how a person you love can just